Today on Andy's Shop, I'm going to pick up a free Honda push mower. All right, heading out. It's going to take me about an hour to get there, but I figured I can sell this thing probably 150 bucks, maybe 200 to the right person. It looks to be in great shape, so we'll see if it's worth it in the end. Sometimes it's hit and miss and you just don't know. First impressions, looks really good. I'm back now, and yeah, it took an hour each way. I went through St. Paul, Oregon, and it's the 4th of July, and I had no idea that that was like the biggest patriotic city in all of Oregon. There were people everywhere. They were getting ready to shut down the road for the parade and the St. Paul rodeo, and I was kind of wishing I had gone a different route. So as you can see, this is in really good shape. There's not a lot of oil or rust. The plastic, the red plastic up there, there's nothing cracked, broken. The stickers are all still on it. So the person that had this kept it in a garage most likely and didn't let it get, stay out in the weather where it was getting cold and wet and sun and all that. So I'm hopeful. I'm gonna try to start this without doing anything to it. I've had many mowers that I've pulled the carb, start cleaning it, and then thought later, I wonder if that would have started without it. So I'm just gonna see. There's gas in it. Fuel's on. Nope, it's not gonna start. I guess I better pull the carburetor. So I'm gonna, before ripping into the carb, I'm gonna take off the air cleaner cover, see if I can get it started with some starting fluid. That's good news. So we're gonna pull the carb because it started with starting fluid, which means there's no spark issue or anything. It's a fuel issue. So we're gonna pull off the carburetor. First thing you gotta make sure, if you have a fuel shutoff like this one does, turn it off. And the way that you know that it's off, typically, when this piece is lined up parallel to the fuel line itself, which is right here, you're flowing. When you turn it perpendicular, it's like you blocked it and just shut off the valve. So with a 10mm socket, we're gonna pull these two bolts off. So on a Honda, everything is connected. You pull these off, and it basically pulls everything off. So there's a gasket that's trying to fall off. I'll show you here. Get this out of the way. Pull that off, there we go. But yeah, this gasket goes in front of this guy. And then there's actually another one behind it as well. So here's the fuel line coming in. There we go. It's probably gonna drip a little. Yep, there we go, a little drip. But we shut it off here, so not much will drip. And then all I have is this little linkage here. If I just turn it, let me pull off. There's a little spring here. I think that's the governor spring. Undo that, and then you should be able to turn this whole thing and just pop This one, it's a little bit annoying that it's kind of stuck back here. Oh, it goes this way. There we go. And once again, we have a gasket in the back. I don't really want that on while I'm cleaning it. So, let's see if I can get it to come off nicely without tearing. There we go. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Okay, got it. So just make sure you remember how that goes. It's back here. I'll kind of just leave it in place while I take the carb over to a little bucket that I like to clean them out in. I'm going to use some compressed air just to clean off all the dust and grime before I go in to mess with it, because in a carburetor, even one little grain of sand can really gum things up. So. I'm going to pull the bowl off with a 10mm socket here. Wow, that was barely on. Okay. I was going to say the fuel is going to, there we go. There we go. Got some fuel out. I was hoping that would pop out a lot easier. But it's not. So if that bowl is a little bit sticky, there we go. You can see inside here, that's kind of gummy. That's pretty gross. Yeah, it's really gritty and stuff too, so I'll definitely need to clean that out. Here's the float. What in the world? Yeah, things are, I was told this was non-ethanol gas, but I don't know if I believe it. Stuff's just a little bit nasty. Pause. The main jet is inside here. Probably can't see it too well, but maybe. I'm gonna see if I can get it out with a screwdriver. They're usually a little bit difficult, but if you push in hard, I think I got it. Oh, just slipped there. All right, come on. I'm going to use this little weird shaped tool to try to get this jet out. Because like I said, it's loose. Man, I don't know. I don't know why it's... Try it again like that. Oh, it's so loose. It's like, it's wanting to come out. So you can buy sets of these little cleaners for all the little tiny orifices. But, so that jet finally came out. That's a tiny hole. That's not going in there. That's not going in there. So what I've done, well, another thing you can make too, a bread twisty tie. I just saved this one and take off the green part on the end. Oh, that one actually fits. So get it through the hole, go around a little bit. Once again, you're going to use some brake cleaner or carb cleaner, and also compressed air. But what you can use, I also have a guitar string here that when I change strings on my guitar, I just save, you know, the high E, and that's a nice small one that'll go right through there. I don't even know if you can see that, it's so small, but no problem at all. So where we just pulled that jet out, there's also one way in there, a little spot that you need to make sure you get. So you can stick this way in there. There we go. I could feel it going through. All right, got my brake cleaner. Don't aim it toward your face. Like, I've done it enough. Even after telling people not to do it, I've done it. So I'm just gonna take this over now and blow compressed air through every little orifice. I'm gonna use some steel wool to clean out all the nasty in here. I've had people comment previously that steel wool is terrible on carburetors. And I don't think it is. I think that, you know, once you're done, use some carb cleaner, some brake cleaner, and use some compressed air, which I will do. Because obviously, yes, if there are any little tiny pieces of the steel wool that could act like sand and just get inside and stop fuel in all the little jets and all the little passageways. So I won't disagree, but I will disagree that it's always terrible. It's not always terrible. If you do it right, clean it out, because I'm removing all those little nasties that were in there. They were like little bumps and things that were pretty disgusting. So, and steel wool is a lot easier to use than sandpaper in my mind. So once you get all that out, oh yeah, that's smooth now. Well, you can see that, but it's much better than it was, and even the parts that still look kind of gross are smooth. I'm going to start by putting the bolts through there. Then, because like I said, these are all kind of together. Two bolts for everything. I think it goes like that. So that's probably, yep, that looks right. Put the carburetor behind the metal plate and connect the spring and the linkage first. Then attach the fuel line, and that way it's all kind of back there and set up, because you still have to get the gaskets in the right spot, and there's actually another piece that works for the auto choke that's all the way against the motor in there. So you've got a whole bunch of stuff sandwiched in there that those two bolts have to go through each piece of them. Once you get a few threads on there, at that point it's pretty easy to attach the breather hose. There is a bolt right in the middle of the metal bracket. It looks like a 10 millimeter probably. if you unscrew that prior to trying to put everything back together, I believe the whole plate comes off, and then you can just do everything kind of in order upside down and then push it all into place. Moment of truth. Let's see.